I've um I've got this list of skill sets that I am capable of that aren't necessarily documented but are proven in behavior and process.
Okay.
I've documented as much as I can considering how dark my operations went.
Mm-hmm.
And the lengths I personally went to not even remember them personally myself.
Right.
But I have them, and here I am not really doing anything. And I've got all these skill sets that I could be utilizing, and it's I'm trying to take whatever steps I can to get it done.
Okay.
And I'm trying not to step on any toes because I remember houses in order of operations, but I mean technically it should already be established in theirs, so I don't understand why it's taking so long for the process to take.
Alright. So, I'm hearing a lot of frustration. Yeah. I'm hearing some frustration.
Indeed.
Okay. So, when you start feeling frustrated like that, what do?
I wait because there's really nothing else to do. I'm trying to establish a record that I've actually asked for help.
Okay.
That I'm not expecting it all just to happen because I decide to. I'm trying to communicate with outside, and I don't like saying outside intelligence because then it sounds like it's not unified. A different perspective than my own that recognizes.
Okay.
And I want to get back to making the world a better place because I was really good at it. I mean, from head of the class to pretender, it was Thundercats.
To be perfectly honest, right now, we could use a whole bunch of people with the attitude of, I'm going to do whatever I can to make the world a better place. Because we don't seem to have a lot of that right now.
And like I worked on infrastructure, so like there should be record of military background.
Okay.
That should be well, I don't know if you. If I were, how would I do that? Am I allowed to ask for my own records from myself? Because
I had lost my copy of my DD-214.
DD-214?
Discharge paper.
Okay.
Department of Defense Form 214. Honorable discharge from military service. And somewhere in all my... Because the nice certificate they give you to hang on the wall, that didn't mean anything. That's just a nice piece of paper with some signatures on it. The one you want is the official form. It says what your MOS was, where you were stationed. If you were in combat, it's listed on there. I won't swear to it. I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, I've heard that it's actually, there's a code on there that says if you have confirmed kills in combat, which seems a little gruesome to me, but okay. But it tells, when you enlisted, where you got out, all that stuff. Well, I lost mine. And that is the most important form you have. I had the right to Washington, D.C., but it took about 3 months and they sent me 3 copies of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad they still had it.
Yes. It was no problem. And then I got in trouble when I was in the service.
Oh.
My company command, or brigade commander and company commander did not appreciate one of my recreational activities. Something you participate in every day as a medical activity.
Right.
You're following me?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Which they should actually be prescribing in the military these days.
Well,
for any number of reasons.
In
PTSD, to say the least.
1982,
Mm-hmm.
there were big signs all over Fort Bliss. Not on my post. Not in my barracks, not in my army, and a big pot leaf on it with a slash through it, and they were busting people.
None of them could defend it.
Well,
except for
well, one of the guys in our company took a court martial rather than take a UA, and when they pulled the papers up from the lab,
mm-hmm.
the judge threw it out. He said that the chain of custody was not correct, and that is an invalid test, so the guy got off. I didn't take it to a court martial because I wasn't ready to face, 5 years in prison for smoking a joint, which is stupid. So I took the Article 15. I lost my strike.
Aww.
But a year and a half later, almost 2 years later before I got out, I sent to the Board of Corrections and Military Records and said, look, this is what happened. This is where the test was done. They're having questions raised about the validity of the tests that were done there. Would you look into it? That's all I asked.
Yeah.
Would you look into it? Because I think there's a possibility that my Article 15 should be overturned. I sent that off in November. In February, I got out, went home, didn't really think about it too much. Sent them a letter and told them I knew this. That was the only thing I did. And about September of the next year, I get a letter back from them. We have reviewed your case and we agree with you. The findings, the laboratory results are not were not consistent. I forget what it was. The chain of custody wasn't correct, or there were questions about the way the test was done. But anyway, they overturned it. They had to give me back pay, and they had to give me an updated DD 214. When I wrote to the Army to get my copy, they sent me both. They sent me the update too. So I was pleased with that. The military was different then.
It was. Well, my participation around that time was South America and FDA primarily. Mm-hmm. I went down with a lot of DEA guys, but my primary was FDA. There were practices to the chemicals that we were bringing up, as recreational as they could get, as they proved. Yeah. There were still medical practices, and that's what I was sent there to keep track of. And as I got further and further north, it got so there was less and less checks, and what ended up happening was officers were so busy doing what they were doing for the country, they couldn't keep their kids out of their medicine cabinets. And you needed that timeline dilation of learning curve of, this is what this chemical is, this is how you found it, and this is how you're using it, but this is what this chemical is. Mm-hmm. And that's how the DEA thing got started, and helped McGruff take apart our crime and interpretation, and who could hold on to the practice and maintain officer status.
Well, I wasn't doing anything near that.
Well,
I was fixing missile launchers.
The defense would have been that if I had been allowed to work on it, would have been that you had practices. It didn't affect the code of conduct or the chain of command, and being an officer a key to the standard, there's no reason to tell you not to until it actually affects productivity, because the productivity is set and then you interfere with it. And then where's it going? It's all because you refuse to acknowledge that there was a practice. Because morale is essential for health. Which is why a lot of medicinal ends up being recreational.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think there's a lot of people out there that have. I think people who know people with medicinal, some maybe be inclined to take advantage of that if their friend with the medicinal is so inclined.
Well, indeed. Let's see, not only that, but like with like a broken back, there is so much analog and digital distortion between like the brain and the rest of the body because of pain, misalignments. If you don't create a chemical constant to focus on, you end up getting scattered and emotionally distressed as well as physically.
Mm-hmm. We were talking a little bit earlier about your frustration level.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wanted to go back. How do you deal with that? What is your coping skill for dealing with frustration?
I tend to dissociate primarily.
Okay.
Because I used to have a lot of physical practices, Tai Chi, Wushu,
Yeah.
Methuselah's game, Hacky Sack. I used to go out and do, but during the summer months here, that I just end up getting cooked, and it does more harm than good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm doing Pokemon Go now, getting out.
Okay.
I'm turning into a night creature.
How many did you capture?
80 so far.
80?
Indeed.
Wow. Right on.
Level 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I found out that downtown is a huge resource for Pokemon, so just going out there and walking around would be good.
And you do that at night?
I'm trying to get to that point.
Okay.
I'm finding my sleep isn't good to begin with. I wake up after about 5 or 6 hours, and when I wake up, I'm usually nauseous and either throwing up or fighting off throwing up.
Yeah, I read that in the notes about that.
And so that takes up until about noon. And then I start eating, usually, on average. And then I spend the day waiting to go outside, and then by the time it's nighttime, my back is tired and out of whack from sitting around all day. And I really don't like laying down in bed all day. I don't know. I think maybe it's because of when I was a kid and my back was broken and I was forced to lay down in bed all day. But now I can't seem to do it and be conscious. And yeah, so I'm trying to be awake and I'm trying to get to that point where I can just make it out into the night and get back to exercising.
Okay. So physical activity helps.
Indeed.
Okay.
It also keeps that if I ever get back into... I've got this design in my head from a long time ago. A VTOL, so a vertical takeoff landing superorbital ascent. And it would be great for things like Coast Guard, National Guard, like rescue, because basically it's designed to handle pretty much any atmosphere, because it's designed to go from interstratospherical to optostratospherical to outer orbit, taking advantage of EM fields, solar radiation, condensation, all sorts, electromagnetic fields, eventually plasma fields, and leading to slip light speed stream technology. These are things I could be working on instead of dissociating my day away.
When you dissociate, I've heard people talk about dissociation before. I'll be honest, I'm not any kind of an expert on it. I don't know that I totally understand it. When you say you dissociate, you mean you just kind of wake up or come to and it's several hours later and something different and you're not really sure where you're at? Or?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
But it's kind of like falling asleep with your eyes open, and what ends up usually happening is there's broadcasts of questions that I end up like answering subconsciously because I'm just like that all day.
Okay.
Because primarily they seem to be asking me like about women and why there isn't one and what happened with that situation.
Okay.
And it leads to I did a lot of work and I had to put it all away because the people that I was working with, children, couldn't play by the same rules. And so in order for them to be able to hold on to the project, I had to go away.
Okay.
And so I don't really have to say about any of that stuff, and they keep on asking me why I don't do anything.
Okay.
And they harass me about that kind of thing.
And there's you said they asked you about why there isn't a woman.
Yeah.
They're asking why you don't have a female companion. Right. Okay. Is that something you would like to have?
Indeed. I don't know if I told any of you this. I'm confessed pre-born Catholic.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone told you guys anything because of separation of houses, but I was born with memories of being existing before I was born, and it's affected my entire life and afforded me great opportunities and friendship with people and teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And my entire reason for being born was to find my wife, the energy that I found before I was born.
Okay.
And well, I did, but now I in that work, I've rendered myself into a position where I'm incapable of working.
Okay. So that sounds like something that you're going to have to work on.
Hopefully, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you said that they asked why there isn't a woman and what happened with that situation, and I seem to remember hearing from in a morning meeting that there was a lady in your life for a while. And
well, yeah, a couple months.
A couple months. Okay.
I had even the order of operations wasn't exactly the way I would have planned it, but the way things turned out, I ended up proposing.
Okay.
She said yes. I ended up proposing several times. She said yes every single time.
Okay.
And I went to the bank, and originally to try and establish that our currency isn't what was established so far for the general public with the Secret Service Treasury Department, where they failed to eviscerate Nixonomics properly and created AKA Reaganomics, Yale and Harvard's failure. But I went to the bank to establish that we weren't going to use that and found that the bank didn't have enough federal presence to recognize that. I recorded all those conversations so eventually that when people started catching up to what I was doing, we would have a life together.
Okay.
But she decided to leave. I've got a recording of that too, but none of it makes any sense.
Okay.
I don't know. As far as I can tell, she never really had any interest in me. If I were to sum it all up, that's pretty much what it turns into.
Okay.
There wasn't really any interest in, as far as I can tell, somebody sent her in to do it.
Okay. So she was not the one.
No. But I did everything as if she were. That's
That's right. That's, you know what? But Bradford, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I read, there's I can't remember the name of the book. Something about habits of 10 healthy habits of successful people or something like that. And one of the habits in there was, even if you're not wealthy, act like you are. Don't spend money like you are.
Right. Well,
but carry yourself. In your business, the way you conduct things, do things as if you already are. Treat those people as if you, and with respect, you know, basically act the part.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah. I can't. I hate when I quote this. I really do. I just feel terrible because I know where it came from, and I don't want to give that person any credit.
Fair enough.
But,
poetry.
Yeah. The idea of fake it till you make it. If you think she's the one, you treat her like she's the one until she proves otherwise.
Precisely. And at the very worst, now I started the stepping stones of establishing proper currency. So if I do run into a one, well, I'm
go.
one step closer.
There you go. So you were able to use the things that you know and move forward.
Precisely.
Very good. Good. That's it's important for you to keep that forward momentum.
Precisely.
To keep going, because once you get stuck, and once you are, you know, you're in that. Is it
lost that forward momentum?
Yeah, Newton's second or third law. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest, and objects in motion tend to stay in motion.
Right. Third principle?
Yeah.
Second principle?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, that's an example of that, is keep that momentum going forward. Because if you lose it, then it's really hard to get
find that outside force to re-emerge.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was your weekend?
Uneventful. I slept through most of it.
Okay.
I did some recordings. I posted them on the internet.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep that momentum.
Okay.
Keeping the what I'm establishing established and keeping it fresh.
Okay.
It seems to help.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. I know Friday I was in the office when Amy called, and you talked to Krista. I know she was concerned.
Yeah.
I think she was concerned that you were feeling like hurting yourself.
Oh.
And, you know, wanted to make sure you're not. And I have to ask, you're not feeling like hurting yourself, are you?
No, it is not one of my plans. I am hurting, but I am not feeling like hurting myself.
You know what? That's
important.
It's not okay that you're hurting, but it is, because that's part of life. You know, hurting is going through those emotional things is never fun.
Indeed.
But as we go through them and grow from them, we learn. And like you said, you're hurting, but you don't want to hurt yourself.
Precisely.
Yeah. No, I found out that a former client from another job passed away 3 weeks ago. I was unaware until Friday. And this was a client that I had gotten to be pretty close to.
Did they go the way they wanted to, or was it?
No, he was under the influence and took his own life.
Oh.
And he was a very young man, and he had a lifetime of potential in front of him. And as I told my wife, I'm hurting over that. You know, it hurts me bad. This kid,
The potential to
the
watch
potential was there, and he you know he had a lot of struggles and he had a lot of things, but the potential was there. So I hurt for that. I hurt for his family. I hurt for everybody involved. But like you said, it doesn't mean I'm going to hurt myself.
Oh.
You know, but we do hurt for people. I mean,
when there is something and then it is taken away, that emptiness creates an ache.
It does. It really does. And how do you deal with the ache? Well, that's a question, isn't it?
Eventually you recognize it, and it either becomes love and it helps you grow, or it rots and it eats you from the inside out.
That is the words of a wise man. That is so very true.
Thank you.
That is so very true. There's a point in grief where you have to decide, what happened to me isn't okay, but I'm going to be okay.
You're still here.
I'm still here.
You're still worth it.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about that a lot in our support group that I go to with the other parents and stuff. But yeah, you know, going through what we went through, you know, as parents, each of the parents in our group having lost a child, going through that, you know, we try, the ones that have been going longer and are way further down the road, we tell the other ones, yeah, you'll get there eventually, but it takes time. And the thing about, in my opinion, the thing about grief is it's a natural, it's part of the human experience, it's a natural thing. And this is big to me. We can't fight it. We can't hide from it. We can't run away from it. We can't go around it. We have to go through it. But yeah, we don't want to, but we have to. But if we go through it, we can come out the other side.
There's still that infinite potential at the other end.
Yeah, you have a choice. You can come out the other side of it a bitter, hate-filled person, let it rot on the inside. Or you can come out of it as a person who appreciates life, appreciates other people.
What was afforded to you through that experience, and how it can make you better through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all a matter of personal perspective. And some people can never see beyond, I got hurt, and I'm angry, and that's as far as they go. And they rot from the inside.
They do.
And it's sad. I wish I'd have known that you were dealing with this grief stuff. Because I'm doing my grief and loss group. So you would have been, that would have been an appropriate thing. Because grief and loss is not just about death.
Indeed. It's a process.
We lose somebody from our life, whether they die, whether they moved away, whether they ended the relationship, it's still a loss. We still grieve them.
Indeed.
When I finished with my master's degree, I was in counseling at the time. My counselor says, so what are you going to do to grieve school? And I laughed at her. You've got to be kidding. I'm not going to grieve school. I am done with school. What do you mean? I am out of here. And she laughed and she said, okay, we'll see. 3 weeks later, next time I was in her office, guess what?
What's that?
I was grieving school. I was missing going to class. I was missing sitting and talking with my friends. I was missing the social interaction. I was missing all of it.
Hallelujah.
And I had to redo it. I had to learn. I had to look at it differently.
Well, if we do it properly, it's a never-ending process, right?
This is what I tell people about grief.
For learning.
We are going to grieve people up until the moment those people that love us begin grieving us.
Did you say that one more time?
We will grieve people in our life up until the moment the people that love us begin to grieve us.
And then what happens?
And then, because we'll quit grieving when we pass away. We're going to grieve for the rest of our life because we're going to continue to lose things and lose people. But you don't have to look at it as this horrible, horrible thing. And I look at it, I've come to this place. The people that I put my grief into were people that I cared about. And the people that I cared about are worth experiencing the pain of them not being in my life.
Indeed.
And, you know, doesn't mean grief's fun. It sucks. You know, I don't have a better word for it. It sucks. But we do the best we can with it. Because what else are we going to do?
What else is worth doing?
Yeah. We could give up and just crawl up into a little bitty ball, but that doesn't accomplish anything. So we keep going. Yeah. It's a struggle. Next
It's a
fall.
worthwhile process.
Yes, it is. Very true. Probably next fall, right before the holidays, October, November time frame, I'm going to do the grief and loss group again.
Okay.
So if you're interested, you'll get a flyer about it.
Okay.
Like I said, it does not have to be about the death of someone. It can be about the loss of a relationship, the loss of a friendship, you know, a lot of things. We grieve a loss of potential. You know, in my mind, I'm 18. You know, my body's saying, "No, you ain't, fool." My mind's like, "I'm 18, I can do that." And my body's like, "No, you can't. Don't do that."
Gradual process.
It's that process.
You could get it back.
And
That
some
frequency.
of it you can get back. Some of it's gone forever, and you have to grieve that. But at the same time, the thing I like about the whole deal is grieving does not mean giving up.
Correct.
And grieving is moving forward.
Properly.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. Well, I got a couple more people to see.
Thank you very much.
I always enjoy coming by. I haven't been by and just had the chance to sit with you for a while, so that was kind of nice.
Do you mind if I ask your name again?
Rodney.
I keep on wanting to call you Joe. I don't know why.
Joe's taller than me, and he's black.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't
That's
make any
alright.
sense. It's like I look at you and I see Joe for some reason. I apologize.
No problem. I've got, this is, even in my, I've been called Ron, Randy, Ronnie, Rob,
Right.
everything but Rod or Rodney. So, yeah, I'm kind of used to it.
Is Rod okay?
Yeah, Rod's fine. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Rod,
Yeah, and in my family, I have cousins all born right within 3 or 4 years of each other. Robert, Roy, Ronald, Randy, Rodney.
Nice.
Bradford, you take care of yourself. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.
All right, we'll see you for your next. Are you coming to our group?
When is our
Tomorrow.
I don't know.
You're probably not on the list. If you want to start coming down, let us know. And we'll
Okay.
get you on the list. All right?
Thank
Okay,
you.
Bradford, we'll see
Very
you.
much. Hopefully we'll get me there in process.
Oh, yes.
Alpha Chi Theta.